Students first.
I am a Navy brat, meaning I am the child of someone who served in the Navy. My dad was in the Navy for 26 years, and I was alive for 11 of them. Throughout my life, I've moved 5 times, attended 6 schools, and lived in 8 different houses. I've never attended the same school for more than 3 years. Although so many amazing things came from moving constantly and seeing so many amazing places, the hardest part was always having to say goodbye to the people I had met. In Japan, I made friends with 2 sisters who lived on the military base with me. We put on dance recitals for our parents in the most flamboyant pink and purple tutus we could find, and we created spoofs of our favorite movies. In Maryland, I became friends with 2 girls who this time weren't sisters, but they might as well have been because they've known each other their entire lives. When they met me, they welcomed me in and made me feel that I too had known them my entire life. During sleepovers, we would make pillow forts and eat way too much candy while we stayed up late watching movies. We also entered a reading competition, where we read an assigned list of books, and on the day of the competition, we sat in a gym as us and 100 other teams were quizzed on trivia. Part of the competition was creating a team name and costumes. We were the Northfield Wild Readers, and we decorated our own t-shirt with animal prints. Looking back on the pictures, I can remember how excited we were when we won 3rd place in the competition. I'm also reminded how horrendous the outfits were. Whenever I moved away, my friends and I would always try to stay in touch. At first, we would email each other every day, but then we would slowly start forgetting, and the emails would become less and less frequent until they ceased altogether. We could tell each other every single detail from our days, but it still didn't feel like we were together. If anything, it reminded us how we now live thousands of miles apart. Over time, we would slowly grow apart. But even if I wasn't emailing them every single day, I would still miss them. For the first couple of months after every single time I moved, I'd have this dream where I was walking to my best friend's house, giddy with the anticipation, weightless from the excitement, only to wake up as soon as she opened the door. I would sit up in bed as the weightless feeling vanished, the butterflies in my stomach turning to stones. Sometimes I would daydream about scenarios where I might run into them again by chance. I would imagine them moving and the teacher introducing them as a new student. I wondered if we might end up going to the same college and become roommates after years of not seeing each other. I hated the growing apart phase that occurred after every single time I moved, so I tried to prevent it. In conversations with my friends, I would smile and nod as my mind drifted elsewhere, to what life was going to be like when my dad retired and the moving would stop. Eventually, I realized I can't keep waiting to let my walls down until I find the place I will stay in forever. The phases that we go through in life are fleeting, and I can't keep waiting for the next moment to let my guard down or the one after that. I was wrong to isolate myself from my friends, who were and are a part of growing up. That is so essential. Maybe it would have been easier to close myself off, but the people who I've met in life have given me the experiences that made me who I am, from the dance recitals to the dorky reading competitions, and that is worth having to say goodbye to some of them. Thank you.
Guild, room 3 today. It's going to be really fun, playing a card game. Be there.
Andrew, I'm flattered, but I told you I didn't want to twin with you today. Are you kidding me? You know what?
No.
That's fine, it's fine.
I've got
It's
plans.
all good.
This is fine.
I prepared. Okay, you know what? Now we're not twinning. What's the healthiest way to get rid of a demon? By exercising a lot. What do you call a fat jack-o'-lantern? A pumpkin. Why does an elevator make ghosts happy?
It lifts their spirits.
You know what? I had some vampire puns too, but they suck, so.
Orchestra and band, the party is this Sunday from 4 to 6 in the Student Center for Ms. Diaz, so please check your emails. I sent everybody a spreadsheet to sign up for food, and if you haven't signed the card yet, I think all the juniors have signed it, and it's going around the freshmen right now, so it'll be in the band room today and tomorrow. Please sign the card. Thanks.
For Model UN, SMUNC committee assignments are here. This coming Monday, C-Day will be deciding on who's in what committee. If you haven't turned in your $200 check to me by then I'm sorry, but you can't choose committee until you do, so please turn it in as soon as you can. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, York almost burned down on Sunday. But it didn't, thanks to the wonderful firefighters who fought the York fire. Now, most of these firefighters combated the fire from the ground. However, some of them fought the fire from the air. Today, in Aviation Club, we're going to be watching some videos about aerial firefighting to appreciate these brave men and women who risk their lives to keep our structures and our lives safe.
So this week is Spirit Week. Today is Twin Day, and at 12 o'clock in the Commons there will be pictures for each grade. So if you are in the picture, you can get class points. Tomorrow there is the pumpkin carving contest, also in the Commons. Each grade has 2 pumpkins. You can divvy it up however you want. But yeah, teachers are judging the competition, and there is lots of different categories like funniest and most creative and scariest and stuff like that. So you guys should all come and participate. It's going to be really fun. Thank you.
Okay, so volleyball has their last home game today. As usual, JV is at 4:30 and varsity is at 6.
It's also senior night, so we're really excited about that, and there's a little ceremony thing between the 2 games, so you should show them support.
Yeah, and varsity is 11-0, so if we win this game, we'll officially be undefeated for league and go to CCS. So it should be a really good game, and if you stay for varsity, we'll have cookies for you.
Water polo, we have our second last game today. 4 o'clock, Hartnell College against Palma. Asked to leave class by 2:30, fans at 2:30. Ask nicely.
Also, next week is water polo's last game, and it's a home game. It's against Monterey. It's at 6 o'clock. We should have some supporters, please. We haven't had like any. So thanks.
Tomorrow is B-Day, and that means chess club is going to be in the Commons. We might have a tournament, but we haven't prepared anything, so we'll see.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. Start the please.
If you're on
JV volleyball, girls tennis, water polo, or cross country.
We're taking your team pictures tomorrow at the beginning of lunch in like circles of learning. You can wear matching jerseys or outfits if you want, but it's up to you.
And then varsity volleyball, you guys have your unofficial photos. You can use those if you want, or just show up to the circles of learning. We'll take a real one. That's up to you guys.
We have a Queers and Allies meeting in room 4 at lunch today. We're going to be talking about a recent bill that was passed in California. It'll be really interesting.
There's a LIPMAC meeting tomorrow at lunch in Miss Berry's room. Please be there.
Look at this shirt. I have had it for a long time, but I don't like the pattern at all. You just throw it away.
You know, you could put it in the Fall Fair donation box for the thrift shop.
Yay! The sophomores are doing a thrift shop for Fall Fair, and this box will be in the downstairs library. Library. Whatever.
Only like slightly used clothing, please.
The Halloween dance is this Friday in the library, 8 to 11.
So we're doing something new. This time, Bryce is going to be DJing the first 30 minutes, so please come and listen to his music. And then Max will be DJing the rest of the dance.
I got some Fall Fair related stuff. If you look around campus on the bulletin boards, you'll see the current maps of the divvied up booth locations. Please take a look at it if you're participating, because you're going to want to see if you're okay with what we have. We did the best we could with a lot of participation this year, which we're grateful for, but if you're not happy, come talk to me, and we'll see what we can do in terms of shifting things around a little bit. And let me know today if the group that you're with that committed to a certain activity cannot do it. We need to know because other people might want your spot. We can use more book donations right up till, say, next Thursday. So really we're looking for the bread and butter at this point, which is hardback fictions, paperback fiction. Bring those in if you can, and again, we go in the breezeway underneath Day Hall. Entertainment. Talk to Jared, who's the entertainment man. If you want, I hear there's a ukulele club on campus, but I've never heard them.
It's not the acoustic one.
Is it okay? Yeah. If you guys would like to perform for the Fall Fair, we would love to have you. And there is gaps in the performance schedule, so come talk to Jared or myself if you have something that you would like to do. I have a thing that's banner here that's going to be outside my door, and those of you who know the routine, starting next Wednesday, you can sign up for a spot to come into the upstairs art room and decorate banners, posters, decorations for your booth or your activity during Fall Fair. It's a kind of a crazy time, but if you sign up for a space and you list a person in charge and your club or group, you can have that time to use the materials, the paints, the brushes, and make your booth look really nice, because that's a big part of kind of selling your product, whatever it is. Student Council, really important meeting today at 11:30. I hope you can all be there. This is our last day before Fall Fair, just a reminder. And if you come to Fall Fair, please put this on your well, just plan on it. All you people who are on the fence, it's a week from Saturday, and we could really use you there. You will be well fed, you will be entertained. And if you know neighbors or friends, start asking them now. Tell them to put it on their calendar, and I look forward to, I'll make another announcement, but look forward to seeing you that Saturday. Thanks.
I'm delighted to announce that 6 of our vocal musicians have survived grueling auditions and been accepted into the California Coastal Regional Honor Choir. So they will meet up in the Bay Area. This is approximately 1/3 of the high school students in the state audition for this group. And a few people would meet Ms. Godoyne at the learning circles when we're finished the safety drill, so she can get your picture today. Sophia Davies, May Howe, Danica Tang, Campbell Walker, Maris Welch, and Catherine Yeager.
As many of you know, comments with progress report grades were posted over the first quarter break. I hope that many of you have had a chance to take a look at them. If you've had difficulty getting in to the system, please let me know, or let Ms. Sinico know. I thought it was amusing on Monday when I asked a couple of students if they had a look at their comments so far, and they said to me, no.
I'm kind of waiting to have a look. I'm a little nervous about what might be written in there. So it's a reminder to those of you who are new to the school that the comments are written and designed to help you get to where you want to go, which is obviously to be as successful as possible in all of your classes, and that grades are only printed on the transcript that colleges see based on your end-of-year performance. So what we write for you in October and December and in March is intended to help you get to the best position possible by May. The other thing that I want to mention is that for many of you, potentially seniors to new 8th graders and 9th graders at the school, your teacher might have written something about coming to see us during tutorial. And the message is that tutorial is a good thing. Tutorial is intentionally there so that we can have some extra time with you outside of class. It's smart to go to tutorial, and there's nothing negative about going to see a teacher during tutorial. Sometimes just that extra couple of minutes of checking in not only builds a relationship, but helps you get the support that you need to be more successful in a class. So I hope that you'll start thinking about using tutorial in October and November and developing those relationships with your teachers outside of class. Thanks.
Competition for Best Pumpkin yet to be determined, but I think we decided about the Twin Day. Sorry. Speaking of winning, all of you are winners. Because you have the great experience every day here at school of working with these dedicated, inspirational teachers. And as Mr. Raymond was just saying, the whole purpose of what we do here and the whole process is in fact a process where you grow and get better. And it's not about one day or one test or one grade. It's about this process. I have the great fortune of talking to a lot of alumni and to parents of alumni, and they all say over and over again how happy they are to have gone off to college and been so well prepared. There are some colleges that take the time to recognize just that very fact, how well prepared you are. One of them is Stanford University, which every year recognizes great teaching. It's my pleasure to be able to present a certificate which has arrived, suggested to be presented at a faculty meeting, but I think you ought to have the chance to acknowledge this. It says Stanford University wishes to recognize for exceptional teaching and your dedication as an educator and mentor, contributing to the future of your students, Stanford, and your community, Lele Bates.